Hey guys, welcome to Kumstar Reviews. What we're taking a look at today is Makertos, the latest in their cross-dimension toy line. The classic scaled, kind of their own iterations of classic characters and things like that. Cross-dimension line MTCD-03 Thunder Manus. So this is the second release using this mold. The first was Thunder Erebus, which was the Nucleon Quest colored version. Of course, this is an homage to the Power Master Optimus Prime, Jinrai, whatever you want to call it, depending on what you watched or what toys you had, where you grew up, etc., etc. I'll give you a quick picture of the content layout, and then from there we'll go on with reviewing this piece. I actually really like it a lot. And we'll go ahead and get started with I don't know if this is Manus or what they consider it for the sake of this, since I haven't seen it in the comics or any kind of Make Toys canon yet, but I guess in terms of Master Force, Transformers, etc., this would be Haikyuu or Jinrai. This would be either Optimus or truck that Jinrai can become an engine on and make come to life. But either way, it kind of starts with Jinrai, Haikyuu, whatever you want to call that engine, Power Masterpiece, attaches to Optimus, brings it to life, and then the trailer just becomes additional armor. So even though the trailer has a head on and stuff like that, that's not any kind of sentient anything. It's really starts with the breastmaster, just kind of like headmasters or any kind of masters in general. You know, even with Fan Project, the Corebots, the Solarons, that's what they're called. So you know, pretty much all continuities that use those as what kind of makes the mechs come to life. But anyway, taking a look at these two, this guy, really doesn't do much. I mean, his arms swing, he can bring him over a bit. Leg swing, you know, he's got some knee movement there, but nothing really too crazy. He's about for standing there and becoming an engine. And let's go ahead and get this thing back into its engine mode. Focus there so you can see how it looks. Focus back on Manus, and he just attaches in like so. All right. Give you guys a good look at him. Now his height. Let's see. He is just under 4 inches tall, so right around that Iron Factory scale. You know, even though these are classic scaled bots, this is small for what a Power Master Optimus would traditionally be, because even though it's in a different continuity, this would be the same size as like a regular Optimus Prime. So if it was a traditional like Hasbro Classics or something like that, you would want it to be like Voyager size or something, that's 6-7 inches tall right there. But since it's Make Toys' own thing, it works. But if you want it to act as a more, I guess, realistic scale, I would probably pair it with Iron Factory figures or something like that. But looking at the articulation on it, it's pretty good. You got some up and down movement there. Full 360 head swivel. So 360 on the shoulder while I pop that out. Believe it or not, that is the first time that's happened. It actually clipped in just fine. So, all right, no double joint, but of course, for the transformation, it goes all the way. All right, bicep swivel. 360 wrist swivel. Even though it doesn't have weapons, it has little holes there, so I don't know if there are any weapons coming or anything that it, you know, from other toys that it can hold. Good forward hip swing. Not really much in terms of back hip swing because of this, you know, big cab in the back. Good knee bend, past 90 degrees if you look at it from that angle. And the ankle tilt, it's just the front of the foot, but it does tilt. He has some heel there, but I wish it was farther back. So Here's their Manus, Optimus, whatever it's supposed to be. Alright, first things first, when it comes to Manus, let's get the height out of the way. He looks to, without the armor, be about 8.5 inches tall. And there are plenty of pictures showing the full details on the written review, which is linked in the description, kumastyle.com. Check it out, as well as that info button right up there. So I'm not going to do the close-ups and stuff like that, but just to give you guys a roundabout view. Really cool iteration of that Power Master Optimus or Jinrai character. Roll the Apex armor right on out, and I keep wanting to call it the Apex armor, which is what it is. But it's called the Divine Armor, for the sake of it being in the cross-dimension toy line. Zoom in a little bit there. And it's well done. Now, this isn't God Bomber itself. This is the trailer, as well as the armor. So it doesn't transform into that robot mode for God Bomber. They actually have a separate God Bomber, which turns into a trailer similar to this, but can also separate and become the armor, you know, like a traditional God Bomber does. That's to be released at a later date. I don't know when, but yeah. Also, for the sake of this video, I'm not doing transformations in this video. It'll make it too long. Nobody wants to watch a 30-minute video. You either come here for thoughts on the toy and a look at it, or transformations. I give you guys the option to choose either one. You know, watch what you want. Of course, I like it if you watch both, but, you know, make your choice. I want to be convenient, as well as, you know, what you guys need. So there we go. But get another shot of those two together, just so you guys can see what's all in the box. And now we can actually get to reviewing this guy. Alright, looking at the posability on this guy, just like Erebus, really posable, particularly for the size and just the idea of it even. So lots of movement in the head there. Doesn't really have the most upward movement, but you can kind of move the little flap behind him and stuff like that. Get a little bit of cheating in there. Tons of downward. He has that extra piece right there for additional shoulder extension. Really get him parallel or even higher if you want to. So full 360. I guess circular motion swing, whatever you want to call it. I wish there was a butterfly. That would be pretty cool, but there is not. Double jointed elbows. Wrist articulation. Articulated fingers, so they just move at the knuckle. The pinky or the pointer finger is actually separate from the rest. No thumb movement there. Alright, tons of ab crunch, as you can see. Alright, these skirts, do they have a little bit of movement in them? They do not. I thought they did for some reason over here on the sides, but guess not. The front ones do for sure, though. And they do. I guess I'm just being goofy. There we go. So I was like, I sure remember moving those things while I posed them, but they do move to make way for the legs. This piece in the back does, and I just have the gun stored on the back there too, so we're going to make a little bit of a mess, but I want to show you guys the posability. Alright. Tons of frontward swing. Good amount of backwards, even with that back skirt there. And those ratchets are really strong to the point where it actually, not necessarily hard, but you really got to put some effort into getting this guy moved, which is nice because it doesn't just get moved out of the way. The balance, the wheels make it a little bit harder, but it does have good stability in the feet. It's unfortunate that I can't do it for the sake of this video, but, well, okay, there we go. All right. Not double jointed, but really good, past 90 degrees on the knees, and just insane ankle articulation, some forward and back swing there too. So let's get this guy into some kind of pose. Alright, so comes with these two blasters, and they slide in like every other weapon in this cross dimension line. There's a little bit of a, I don't really know what to call it, indent on the inside of the palm there to where he doesn't just grip them, but the weapons actually slide in, so you don't have to close the fingers or anything like that. He holds them as soon as you slide into that. I'm gonna show off some of that. The tilt and crunch. Alright, and sorry if there's any clip in there that you guys see, but my battery actually ran out on my camera, so that's no good. Alright, I'm gonna raise this up a little bit more. So they're filming the thing again. Tilted the camera, and let's see how far we can zoom in. And alright. Alright, and here he is in cab mode. I mean, pretty straightforward. I mean, it looks good. Looks good for what it is. It does have rolling wheels. This is just uneven. But, let's see if we can't zoom out. Attach the trailer here. This part I forgot to clip. And I will say, this transformation, and I'm just getting everything, you know, tight and right, for the sake of video. Kind of a pain to transform, so I'm glad to be able to provide a video of that as well, but I mean, it's decent. Then, if you get the Apex armor attached, it's this trailer right there, and there are 2 slits in the feet. So, see if I can do this on camera. If not, I'm going to have to take it off. So, yeah. Sorry to manhandle it a bit. I know that kind of, I guess, triggers in a sense some people. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. Get that back right. Get this part even attached. See if I can feel for it. Yep. There we go. Get the guns back in order even, and it's pretty long, just for display purposes. If I can find my tape measure, I will measure it. And front to back, it's about 17 inches long, so that's a heck of a display area. But on the Apex armor, you can. It's really strong ratchet, so brace it, but angle that piece, you know, up and down that cannon. These move. And overall good stuff. And that turns as well, but yeah. Pretty cool, and it's a pretty neat display to see all together. Alright, now going with some comparisons here. So we've got Makertos there, Thunder Manus, of course, as well as Fans Hobbies, Power Baser. Get his skirts here all nice for you. And a natural question with Masterpiece toys, or Masterpiece scaled toys, being so popular nowadays is this MP scaled? Absolutely not. It's a classic scaled piece. Or, you know, I guess it's kind of small for classic scale, but I guess the perfect sizing would be for a Legends display like Iron Factory and stuff like that, because, you know, Jinrai is pretty darn big, but, you know, that's kind of subjective. But officially this is a classics toy, and for this line, he's a little bit smaller than the normal Power Master Optimus Prime. This is an actual Masterpiece scaled Power Master Optimus Prime, so let's compare the heights here. We're looking at about 8.5 inches versus around 12 on Power Basers. So not that significant of a difference in like human heights and stuff like that when you're looking at 6-7 feet tall, but for small scale toys like these, that's pretty big, and it shows. So, and if you haven't checked out the review of Power Baser, got both the review and transformation video of that, as well as the render review, blah blah blah, kumastyle.com. Awesome toy, one of my favorites of 2017. Now, the previous release using this mold is Thunder Erebus, the Nucleon Quest version, not necessarily a bad guy, but I don't know how it plays out in the comics either, so I guess we'll have to see when it comes to the cross-dimension actual storyline. But I was surprised. You know, I was really hyped for the red version of this, and I still am. I like the figure. It looks great, but the black version, I guess I didn't appreciate it as much as I should until I got both of these together, because, man, the reds and the blues on this thing just pop. You know, I've heard that this thing is long sold out, so you know it is what it is in terms of getting one, but if you got one, love it, because you really got something nice with this piece, you know? So, yeah. Now on to reviewing the actual toy itself. Alright, what you've all been waiting for, the full-on combined mode. This would be Power Master, or I guess his combination with God Bomber armor. I don't really know what it is for the American toy, but I know it's called the Apex armor or whatever. But, you know, for Master Force, this would be God Shinrai, and the regular just, you know, bot combined with trailer that was shown previously, that would be Super Shinrai. So this is Thunder Manus with the divine armor attached. Let's see where it puts his height now. It went from about 8.5 to 9 inches actually, so added about an extra ½ inch to his height, which is pretty phenomenal, pretty big. In fact, let's go ahead and get the regular Erebus next to him. Alright, so there's that. Getting this guy back into the spotlight. So, giving you a roundabout here. It's really, really pretty. Lots of armor to it, but unfortunately, you know, there's just one area that bugs me. For the most part, it keeps a lot of its articulation. So, shoulders are about the same because the wings are able to move and things like that, you know, pretty good. Still same head articulation. This actually switches sides, so if you notice in some of my photography on the written review, you know, kumastyle.com info button description, the cannon will actually be on different sides. I don't do any like mirroring or rotating of my pictures or anything like that. This actually just switches out, and there it has a cover for whatever the opposite side is. So it just pops on, pops off. Pretty easy stuff. So for the most part, the articulation is about the same, but there's no movement in the skirt piece at all. And with the additional hip armor, you get a lot of limitation there. So that's unfortunate, but I mean, we'll see what we can do. And it even keeps its waist rotation and stuff like that. So I should have went on ahead and done the opposite legs. So we'll switch those up. Give him a walking pose that's not complete junk. And a lot of these I do on the fly, so, you know, bear with me. It's not like I go into these reviews like planning poses or anything like that. But, okay. So one cool thing is that comes with the sword. You saw that pop right out. So the way it works is remove that part of the handle there, slide the sword in, and this can be held by any other cross dimension character. Then just put that part back on. Come on, don't tell me I have to rotate this figure or take it off camera. There we go. I was scared. Alright. Alright. That maybe put that a little bit forward. Head up. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, I guess we'll finish it there. I think I've covered everything besides the transformations, which again will be on a separate video. I got this from thechosenprime.com. I always get customer service, great freaking prices, very competitive, and yeah, I mean, it just feels like a family. If you go to Prime's Council on Facebook and stuff like that, there's a lot of love for both the retailer itself and just the community in general. It's really cool to see. So check them out on Facebook as well. But as for me, this has been another Kumastyle review. Check out the full written review as well as my gallery, kumastyle.com. Link will be in the description. Info button, like the 35th time I've said it, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. As for this video, like, share, and of course with this channel, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.